So
Okay.
welcome to week 4 of the Breathwork Honoring Grief program with Mindfulness Network for People of Color. We're so happy to be here. And I'm going to hand you all over to
And I'm
Zenubia
just sorry.
in a minute. And
It's
she is
good.
going to graciously show us some of the 4 practices, the 4 routines, which make Breathwork's mindfulness quite unique in the industry. So these practices, there's quite a few of them. So we're actually only picking 4 of them. And there's Zenubia in the incredibly bright pink shirt. You
Right,
can't
pink.
miss her because in this dark day, she is like um a flower, like
So,
geranium. I was gonna say.
so the
So
reason I've set up here basically is to demonstrate. So, we are aware that obviously there are links to these exercises for people to go and sample and practice. And the series I'm going to show you now is a sequence of these exercises. And we encourage you to invest time, the 10 minutes or so it'll take to do these, because it's not about fitness. It's not about exercise in the normal way we think of it. It is really about getting into a deep and intimate connection with the breathing body and how it frames our doing and being modes of activity. So we become more aware of the thoughts and impulses that are moving through us, and we also become more spacious in seeing them and in allowing them to be, and in actually being able to have a steady, an increasingly steady awareness. It's called continuity of awareness. So, yeah, so I'm going to start. I just want to show you some postures, and that's why I've got my seat sideways here. So ideally, when we do these, it's good to use something like a dining. Oh, I hope you can see me clearly. Sorry, I need to actually move you back.
that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah, okay. So this, like a dining chair, something that's fairly firm, that has a back that will support you, or that'll be behind you. So the idea is that we actually place ourselves more to the front of the seat we're on, and we're going for a relaxed yet upright curvature of the back, just following the back's normal curves. But to do that, we are making sure we are on the sitting bones. So we're not slumping in like this. There's no curvature here. And there's no leaning forward like this. So it's this nice balance between those 2 poles. And we're centered on the sitting bones, feet on the floor. So that's the posture that we're doing when we're doing these sitting movement meditations. I'm going to turn to the front again so that you can actually see what the movement is that I'm going to be doing. And then I invite you to join in after I've demonstrated the initial movement. So, okay. Right. So just if you and you're going to be sitting in whatever you're sitting on, so don't worry about it and just follow along, because later you will pick the chair, you will pick the moment for your practice and how you're going to do it. About 10 minutes fairly consistently every day to start to see results. So we're going to begin with a movement that's, I think it's called cradling the hand, but basically that's what it is. So It's a meditation, and we treat it in a meditative way. So bringing our awareness to the weight of our body on the chair, beginning to notice any sensations in our body, just noticing how it is, and feeling into the rhythm of the breathing body. So we don't have to focus on our breath. This can be uncomfortable for some people. Instead, we rest awareness on the movement of the body in its rhythm, expanding and subsiding. And we just keep allowing ourselves to anchor into that, dropping in through the sitting bones, allowing ourselves to be received by the surface we're on. And then we can bring up one arm, it doesn't really matter which one, and cradle it lightly with the opposite. We're going to let the breath out, or the breathing body, lead the way. So this rhythm, and each person's is going to be different. Their breathing body rhythm is different. And we're going to let that lead the way. So the idea is we just begin to allow the hand to circle. The breath leading the way, so the in breath, the out breath. We don't have to make big movements. And all from time to time we're checking in. Is the breath moving freely, or are we holding on? Also gently letting go of the muscles in the buttocks, the belly, the chest, and the face. If we notice we've held them stiffly, so just letting that go and checking in. Breath in, breath out, or movement in, movement out. When we're ready, we reverse. So we're feeling into these sensations. Very subtle, and it's not like we're after anything in particular. We're just becoming aware of this motion. And then letting the hand rest by the sides of the body. And checking in the sensations in that part of the body. Have they changed? Do we notice perhaps warmth or tingling in the hands, the arm? And how does that feel compared to the other side of the body? So indeed, we might be feeling a certain increased level of activity or aliveness. Just being with what there is. And we might not notice anything, and that's fine. We're being with that too. Just checking once more into the posture, making sure it's still in neutral, upright, fairly relaxed. With awareness, we're picking up the opposite hand, allowing it to circle. And here we can also pay attention to what we've been talking about soft and hard edges. So quite often our brain picks up on stuff we're doing and it wants to improve it. So it might make us think we need to push a little more, add some bells and whistles. So we become aware of that and we just notice where the mind might want to take over. So yes, when we're ready, just reversing that action, feeling into it. We might even be enjoying it. You see, this is the thing, it's an exploration of movement in the present moment, of being with the body. Letting the breath go, if you notice you've been holding on, just returning to that rhythm. And then letting go of all effort, arms by the sides, noticing the sensations now in that side of the body. Taking it all in, both arms, hands, shoulders. When we're ready, we're going to move into an exercise called flicking the fingers. So we hold the hand up, we bring the index and the thumb together, and we gently flick out. We do the same with the next finger, and we're flicking out the finger. The next, ring finger, flicking that out, and the little finger. And thoughts may be coming in, notice what they might be, just acknowledge them, allow them to be there and to go. Do it again. Yes. And letting the hands rest either on our lap or by the sides of the body. So this is all about bringing a very fine and nuanced attention to sensations as they change and move in the body. This is how the body speaks to us. This is the language. And only by slowing down and taking the time do we begin to learn the alphabet, so to speak. The opposite hand, and we're gently flicking fingers. One more time. And notice, am I holding my breath? Has my face gone stiff? Have I tensed my buttocks? Am I slumping? Just notice it. Because the moment we notice, we shift into presence, awareness again. Letting that hand drop down or rest on the lap, whichever you prefer. Letting go any held movement of the breath. And then we're going to do or move into the meditation part called hugging arms. So again, the breath or the movement of the body breathing is going to lead the way, whether it's a short cycle, a medium cycle, a long cycle. And this breath movement can be changing all the time. So literally it is the guide to the size and the length of the movement we do. So we allow the arms to rise up and then cross the body and hug the elbows. So we can do this on the in or the out breath. It doesn't matter. It becomes a rhythm. And again, we're noticing, are we tensing up elsewhere? Is the face still soft? Are we letting the body expand? and subside. Noticing if we've tensed up in the hips or the buttocks. And that's the practice. Allowing the hands to rest by the sides of the body. Noticing whatever sensations are present now. Whatever warmth, tingling. A myriad of sensations might or might not be occurring, and it's all okay. For our final practice, we're going to be moving into peeling off the t-shirt. So it's an extension of what we've just done. Again, we allow the arms to come up on an inhale or exhale. Gently cross the body. We're picking up the edges of an imaginary t-shirt and we're peeling it off. Opposite. In our own time, according to the length of the breathing cycle. One more time. Letting the arms come to a rest. And taking some moments to just be with the overall sensations in the body right now. So for each one of us, depending on our physical situation, we will notice where our soft edges are, meaning the point at which we first feel a stretch and a motion and a pressure beyond what we would normally be doing. And the hard edge, which is the point where we have overdone something, we've pushed too far. So somewhere in between there is a gentle challenge to do these movements with full awareness without hurting ourselves. And if we know that our tendency is to shy back from certain movements because we maybe arthritic wrist or something, is to gently push the boundary. Gently push the boundary so that we're not under moving. And there's all sorts of resonances around that with the boom and the bust cycle, all about these edges that we navigate through our movement, through how we move with awareness in very different ways. And we'll touch on that a little later again, hopefully. Meanwhile, thank you everyone. Just allowing the body to settle back now, letting go of any effort, dropping into that awareness, that sense of inhabiting this moving body, getting a sense of the feet on the floor. And when you're ready, opening your eyes if they've been shut, turning on your videos, and all of us coming back into the space. I'm going to turn mine off so I can change back to where I was. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Zenubia. And these guided meditations can be found in the Dropbox on week 4. and there's plenty of them for you to learn and go through and experience. And as Zenubia said, it is a meditation in its own right, and the more you practice, the more you will gain and the benefits from it. So thank you. Let me turn this recording off.